Alright, here we are. It is time for part 2 of All Secrets of Halloween Horror Nights 29 Revealed. The first video went nearly an hour before, and I had such a long story to tell you about. How Cindy and Eddie are taking over the event this year to become, a sort of hijacking the event to be icons when they weren't allowed to be icons for decades. They're going to force the way in and will pop up throughout the evenings in various haunted houses at some point, disturbing, interrupting every single haunted house, IP or not, every single scare zone throughout the event, and you'll never know where they'll come up next. And I mentioned in the previous video there'll be 5 IP haunted houses this year again, and 5 original haunted houses. And I had started on the IPs, and I had mentioned Scary Tales 2, which of course you already knew about because that was announced sometime in March, even though it's only March 5th. Oh, no, it's April. It's April, of course, when I post this video. And then the Bird Box Haunted House and the Horrors of Blumhouse, featuring Get Out, Us, Thriller, and Ma. And then Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which will be done quite horrifically with all different scenes from that movie, which they have the rights from Lionsgate. So there's one last IP for my highly fraudulent prophecy of what they're going to do this year. Yes, and that is, they wanted, of course, to do, as they've done recently, something from the 1980s, a nostalgia house, but they had to find one that wasn't controlled by either Warner's or Fox. And so, scrounging through what was left, they found Fright Night, which was a Columbia picture, and so they worked out to deal with Sony, going to the Japanese, Onegai shimasu, and giving a nice all that they have to do, and they got the deal worked out. And so Fright Night, the original Fright Night with Peter Vincent and Evil Ed and all the wonderful things that were in that movie, will be the nostalgia 80s haunted house. And of course, all of these houses will at some point throughout the event will be interrupted by Cindy and Eddie, like Kanye West at an award show. That was a joke I made in the previous video. But original houses then. Well, these are going to be interesting. The first original house, you might assume it's an IP when you hear it's called Killer Clowns from Inner Space. But it's sort of a twist, a sort of, not like Murdy, who sometimes rewrites it, but more like a variation. These are different clowns. They're not the same ones from the movie. They got permission to use a parody title because the whole concept is that these evil clowns from another dimension are microscopic, like nanobots, and they infected some cotton candy at the carnival, and people ate the candy and ingested them, and then once they're inside, they expand to normal size, and so they start popping out of people's orifices, coming out of their mouths, out of their down there. Ooh, I pooped a clown. Yes, and you can imagine the sort of horrifying scenes of clowns emerging from people's bodies or out of toilets or climbing out of their mouths. Horrifying evil clowns getting you from the inside out. Quite a graphic and brutal house, not as funny as you thought it was going to be. And then we have the second original house, something because they know there's a lot of British fans, so this was something for people on the other side of the pond, a little bit of British culture, and it's going to be called She's so old, it's haunted. Somebody, I hope, got that over there. And you go into a great big moist, damp tunnel. Very creepy. Lots of cobwebs and spiders crawling through it. And there's some beautiful old furniture and pieces of antiquities, and you're in sort of a royal chamber, and there are beefeaters and guards and you know, deceased members of the royal family as spooks and ghosts and goblins, like the Duke of Windsor or the Queen Mum. And then eventually you're going to be attacked by demon corgis. Yes, generations of dead corgis back from the tomb, until you finally see Mum herself on her throne, ancient. She's never going to die. And Charles saying, please, please, die already. I'll never get to be king. And yes, so she's so old it's haunted, and somebody knows what the it is, but I'm not going to say it here because that would be disrespectful to Her Majesty. All right. So the original houses are starting to sound really far-fetched and ridiculous, but I had to go there eventually, wouldn't I? Check your damn calendar. It's not March 5th for you. All right, so next one, it's called Where's the Wolf? Sort of like Where's Waldo? And you're in a haunted forest, and there's a were-bear, and a were-jaguar, and a were-rhinoceros, and a were-flamingo, a were-kangaroo, a were-wombat, every kind of were you can imagine except for the werewolf. And you gotta find the werewolf before you get out of the house. There, werewolf. Where's the wolf? All right, and then the next one. This is going to be one of those nautical boat ride type houses. I haven't done that since Titanic or the Ship of Screams. But they're going to do it real well with feels like the boat's moving. It's going to be quite wonderful, and it's going to be a beautiful ocean cruise liner like those Discovery. What accent was I using? That's not my Vincent Price voice. Good Lord. I'm still recovering from the previous video. So let's see. You're on a beautiful ocean liner like Carnival Cruise or Disney Cruise, but it's neither of those. This boat is the Lovecraft. We'll be sailing out to sea. Yes, the Lovecraft and insanity for me. And as you're out on the Lovecraft, suddenly you're attacked by horrible fishmen, and tentacles come from everywhere, and you finally get dragged down into a realm of shrieking abomination and insanity. And you say, no, they can't do that, that's crazy. And I say, no, really, yes, really. Oh, dear. And then the last of the houses, the fifth original house, will be big-ass spiders. Now, they have some trouble with the legal department because there was a film called Big-Ass Spider a few years ago. They did change it by making it plural, big-ass spiders. They may have to change it to some other phrase, but they're hoping they can still call it big-ass spiders. Otherwise, they may just call it big MF spiders. But it doesn't have the fun of big-ass spiders. Now, it's not spiders with big asses, although that would be funny. But no, it's going to be a lot like Seeds of Extinction. It's not a shopping mall. It's more like a little village, and you have all sorts. You'll be going through like a school, like a high school, and you go through a little church, and you might go through some shops. You know, you'll visit the whole town, but as you go through the town, it starts out with fairly big spiders, like, you know, as big as your hand, you know, big as dinner plates. And then you'll have spiders that are roughly the size of a little dog. And then you'll have spiders the size of a big dog. And then you'll have, you know, spiders the size of a dog that's as big as a horse. And then eventually you'll have Godzilla spiders. Holy shit! Yeah, you'll have all those going through. The spiders just keep getting bigger and nastier and more scary, just like you had variety of plants that got bigger and nastier in Seeds of Extinction, from the little guys to the big trees. Yes, you'll eventually have big frickin' spiders. And the whole point of this house is arachnophobia, you know, because so many people are scared of spiders. So if anyone has any spider fear at all, they'll emerge from the house a quivering pile of goo going, ah, help me. Yes, quite fun. So those are our haunted houses, the IPs and the originals, and they will all, of course, be frequently interrupted throughout the event by Cindy and Eddie. So there will be scare zones, of course, and they'll be pretty much in the same areas as last year. In the Plaza of the Stars, they're going to do rather clever. They're going to set it up with storefronts and windows with mannequins, but then the mannequins will be in the street. They're going to sort of promote the IPs for the haunted houses in a clever way. Some of the costumes might worn by the mannequins might look like characters from the movies, but you won't have scare actors from the houses there. You'll have these sort of plastic mannequins that come to life, and some of them will break through the glass windows. They won't really break through, but there'll be shattering noises as they walk through. This actually won't be any glass, but they'll have that sort of shattering noise, and they'll make it seem like they're breaking out after you, and will chase you through the area. In New York, it's going to be an IP scare zone. They got the rights to this movie. It was, I think, a Paramount picture, so they're able to work out the rights. It wasn't Warner's or Fox, and it's The Warriors. Yes, so we'll have all of those different gangs running through New York Street, from the baseball Furies to the Lizzies to the Warriors themselves, you know. Warriors, come out and play! And through Central Park, well, not in Central Park, but in the Gramercy Park, or they'll use the whole area. It'll be just like being caught up in that movie. Very exciting. Then in Hollywood Boulevard, it'll be, is that next? Oh yes, Blood Pageant. Blood Pageant. And there'll be a big stage set up in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a beauty pageant with vampires. It's like Miss America or Miss Universe, only it's going to be a vampire beauty pageant. The vampires have taken over, and there'll be vampire queens up there. Not drag queens, but I suppose some of them might be. And they'll be going up there to perform and to bite each other. It's cutthroat, and to who gets to win Miss Vampire of 2019. And you know, you'll have some contestants trying to stake each other so that they can win. And there'll be vampire wig snatching and cat fighting. The whole zone will be filled with all sorts of vampires enjoying this. So it's a sort of a takeoff on the world of Vamp 85 and Vamp 55. This is modern day, and it's a vampire beauty pageant. All right. And then in Central Park, it is going to be quite horrifying. You'll enter the Forbidden Florist. Yes, I said florist. You enter the flower shop of doom, not Little Shop of Horrors. It's an insane florist who makes beautiful arrangements out of bits and pieces of human corpses. You know, he chops you up and arranges you instead of flowers, carves little roses out of bloody bits of human flesh, and beautiful arrangements. Because the flowers are his friends. He doesn't want to chop them up. He's after you instead. Yes. And I think he has a couple of Seeds of Extinction type buddies to help him do it. Named Root and Thorn, I believe. And then we have, in South Street, Disco Inferno. And we have set up because they realized last year that the zone in that area, that little area, is better if there's a lot of dancing, a dance party atmosphere from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So they said, let's one that up. And there'll be disco balls and fog and bubbles like they did, but twirling disco, mirror balls and music from the 70s, and you'll have like Studio 54 in hell, and there'll be vampires and werewolves and demons and ghouls and monsters in polyester and in those big heel shoes with the big fluffy blow-dried hair layered and feathered like Farrah Fawcett or John Travolta back in the day. And they'll be boogieing through the disco inferno. Of course, that song will play, but also you'll hear all the classics of the era, from the Bee Gees to the Village People. It'll be quite spectacular. Disco inferno in hell. There will be roaming hordes with chainsaws, except, of course, they're not really roaming, but the chainsaw groups will be in the San Francisco waterfront area. Will be chainsaw welding nuns. Yes, some of them will be kind of hot, and some will be scary, and some will just have rulers with blades around them. Slash, slash, slash the ruler. Yes. And the chainsaw welding nuns will be chasing you through San Francisco, especially the Mission District. And then we have in Springfield will be chainsaw pirates. And yes, because September 19th is Talk Like a Pirate Day. What day of the week is September 19th, now that I think about it? Let me take a look. And it'll be, it's a Thursday. It should be a night the event is being held. Yes, so it'll be even crazier that night. They'll encourage you to talk like a pirate, but you'll have pirate wenches and pirate captain running it, and all of sorts of characters that you might see on a certain Disney cruise ride. There'll be a redhead, but, of course, bloodier, gorier, and welding anachronistically chainsaws, the chainsaw pirates. There'll even be like cross chainsaws and a skull emblem and a flag and buccaneer music playing. It'll be quite wonderful in Springfield, USA. So now we have to get to the shows. Academy of Villains will be doing a show. I have no idea what the show will be. They make it up themselves. They're going to try to incorporate some of the themes of the event, but who knows what that would be. And they will be on the main stage. That is to say, they're going to set up the stage in the center of the park this time, like they did the first couple of years they had Academy of Villains, rather than have a big centerpiece, because the Forbidden Florist really doesn't have any thing. That they're not going to set up a little flower shop in that area. Instead, they'll have the stage. So they'll have the beautiful stage for Academy of Villains there, rather than use the Fear Factor Auditorium, because that will be the home of a new show, sort of, and it's going to excite a lot of old-time fans, and there'll probably be some controversy about this, and some people get pissed because the way it'll be presented, there'll be a big sign that says, "An excellent Halloween adventure. Join two old friends that we haven't seen in many years as they come back to take us on a trip through time and space and a parody of pop culture from the past year." And you think, oh God, are they bringing them back? And when you go into the auditorium, you see the stage set, and you hear that music that you always heard, that two heads are better than one theme from Bill and Ted. But then popping on the stage will not be Bill and Ted exactly. It'll be Cindy and Eddie. And they'll come out and they'll be holding Bill and Ted's severed heads. And then they'll laugh and kick them down the stage and say, What, you thought they were gonna come back? Nope. And they will proceed to do a parody of pop culture by bringing out all the different characters from movies and television, reality shows, internet memes, and pop music that you might have remembered from the past year, and brutally murdering them with their chainsaws and fire and any other nasty way to kill people. It'll actually be more of a fright of a gory death kill carnage type show rather than an old Bill and Ted. So we'll bring Beyonce on and we'll dismember her in some nasty way, or think of some clever way to do it that would be appropriate for the character. So that will be the event this year, Halloween Horror Nights 29. I have completed my duty and have revealed everything to you that is going to actually happen in my mind, and probably not in reality, because again, check your damn calendar. And with that, I bid you adieu. At some point, I certainly hope I have finished all my Scare Zone cocktail videos, because I had more to do before, and I hope I finished them all by now for Halloween Horror Nights 28, and I don't have any more to do. And I hope, I would really be nice if I was doing videos on Halloween Horror Nights 26 by now, but I'm probably still on 25, maybe part 18 or 19. I have no idea. I may still be working on part 16. I hope not. And hopefully I'm still alive, and this doesn't come from beyond the grave. That would freak people out, wouldn't it? If, like, I died in February, and then a video showed up in April 1st. And, hello, I'm here to tell you what's happening for Halloween Horror Nights 2082. I picked a long time from now, so, because I'd expect to live that long. 2082, I would be 119 years old. That would be acceptable, to live that long. Oh. So, whatever video I should be making next, hopefully I'll make it soon. There may even be a house cocktail video to make by this point, announcements and all that haven't actually happened yet, but I hope they will by the time this is posted. So with all of that, I bid you all a fond farewell, and hope you enjoyed this year's stupidity. Until next year, when I make up something even stupider for Halloween Horror Nights 30. Good night, my friends, and have a fun life.